All right, I mentioned that we were going to be doing patterns. And so probably you older students probably thought, patterns, I know what that is. But they're patterns that can be very complicated. And I'm going to let you choose whether or not you want to use crayons or markers on this. But the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to take your, as I said, you need paper, and I mentioned earlier crayons, but you can use, if you have markers, you can do that. And we're going to fold the paper at least 3 times. It does not matter how you fold it. You do not have to copy me. It doesn't have to be straight or any of that. So I'm going to take mine, and I'm going to do, I think, one like this. I'm trying to be different than what I was before. I'm going to take one and fold it like this, and it can totally be completely different. And I just took it like that. Does not have to be like mine. Does not have to be even. Any of that. But I want to make sure I press it down because I want these lines to show up. And no, we're not doing origami. So I know that looks. So I'm going to open it up, and you can see that the lines on here, right? All right, now I am going to take a black marker. You can take a pencil if you choose, if it bothers you. I know I'm not great with straight lines, but we're going to give it a try here. And I am going to trace my lines, the folds. And you might not be able to see them as well from there. I hope you can. But, and as I said, you can trace them however you want to. All right. Not perfect, but that's works. Now we are going to use our hand. This is a smaller piece of paper so that it'll fit on the screen for y'all. But my hand should still fit on there. So you're going to take your hand, and I'm actually going to trace it with a pencil because I get a little wonky sometimes. And those of you who have me know what I mean by that. So I'm going to put my hand down here. I am going to trace my hand, and you can go ahead and do it with a marker if you want to. I just want to do it like this in case I mess up really bad. Like I said, you can go ahead and do it with a marker or a crayon. And your hands will probably be smaller, so you could really spread them out if you would like to. And so that's what we have, a very deformed hand. And now I am going to take my black marker and trace over it. So here I'm going to trace, and these are not perfect hands, but that's all right. We're not looking for perfection here. If we were, I certainly wouldn't make that cut. Okay. So now what we are going to do is we are going to make patterns each one of these. And you can choose to use your markers, or you can choose to use crayons, or you can choose to use a combination of both. So I'm actually going to use a combination of both. Right here. And I have some markers right here. I could, if I was like really wanting it, really perfect or something, I could go in there with a pencil and make patterns. And I know that you all know what patterns are. You've got vocal patterns where you go, hope you heard that, or patterns where you were clapping. You know what's coming next. That's usually what a pattern is. There are always exceptions to rules. And so I'm going to keep them pretty simple to start off with. I'm going to do this one, and I'm just going to do some red lines. But what I'm going to do is I am going to, at every black line, I am going to not go through it. Okay? I'm not going to go through it. Just to make this a little more interesting. And we're going to be doing something with patterns later on too. All right, so that's my red. And then I'm going to do my blue on the stripes in between. And when I get, and you do not have to do the pattern I am doing, but when I get to each black line, I'm going to stop. Those of you who have had me know that I talk about those lines being like a fence, and we don't just crawl over somebody's fence. So, anyway, I've got that, and I am going to kind of do this a little different, and I'm going to actually color these in with crayon in between. So it's still red, blue, red, blue, red, blue, but it gives me a little bit of a different look. I don't have to do it that way. That's just how I'm choosing to do it. Also, it's a little quicker. Okay. Do this. Now, when I get to the finger, I'm going to not go through it. I'm going to do my own pattern on those. I'm just going to see how that looks. Maybe something interesting and experiment before we do our final picture. We're building up to that, doing some skills this way. So let me hurry up with this. Actually, if I skip this, I end up messing up one of the patterns. I've done that before. So I'm just going to switch out, and there you go. Oops, Miss Brown did that. Oh, no, it's not the end of the world. And there's my red. See, I get going too fast, but that's okay. It's not that big of a deal. All right, so I've got that. I'm going to do just a couple of more patterns with you, and then you're going to do the rest yourself. I am going to go over here, and I think that I will do a wavy line. I'm going to do a little wavy line here. I'm going to skip. I'm going to stop here. And then I'm going to do a wavy line here, wavy line here, and a wavy line here. This is a little harder than you think. And I actually happen to have a pink. Do straight line here, skip and straight line here, straight line here, straight line here, and I have enough room for a straight line there. And if I would like to, I could do this with crayon, or I'm going to actually go in and I'm by myself. I'm coloring above my pink line. I have to keep that in mind. Above it, because I have been known to mess it up if I don't. So above the pink line there, and I am going to do above my green line, which means this would probably be pink in here. If I were following the rules of the pattern, that would need to be pink. Like I said, this is a little harder. It's kind of like when we were doing the texture and all that with just a pencil. It's not as easy as it looks. All right. And let me go in here and do something in there. I think I can do, let's do some, That's a really small space to try to get a pattern in there. So I'm going to do, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do my dots with a dark color. I'm going to do some blue dots. And I'm just going to do a color pattern. That's all. And then I'm going to do some brown dots, so that if I were going this way, it'd be blue, brown, blue, brown, blue, brown. And I'm going to do the pattern in between it too. And then we have blue, brown, blue, brown, blue, brown, and a blue. And I can color in, I think I'm going to color the back of that in with a yellow. So it'd be nice, and I can color it real quickly without messing up what I've done there. That's a little different. So you're going to finish that. Now, if you have a tiny place like that, you are probably not going to be able to fit a pattern in there now, are you? So just go in there, and I think I'm going to color that with a bright yellow. Okay, so if you have small areas, then you can go in there and just, color it in. All right, so then we'll end up having the hand left. What you're going to do with the hand is just every time you meet a line, you're going to change the color. Okay? And you can do that once again. You can do that with markers or crayons, or both. And so this is just to make it a little more interesting and probably not as difficult on the eyes. And this is so that would be orange. Then I'm going to go here and do just that one. And I think I'm going to do that one with green. And remember, when I get to the line, I stop. We don't go over the line. And I could do a little red right in here. Like I said, it's a small spot. So when you get to something real tiny, unless you want to go in there, you could make little tiny patterns. I'm going to go up here on this one and do a yellow in my hand. And I'm going to go over here and do a blue in this big part here. I like to kind of outline first. So you're going to continue this way. And I know this is actually more difficult than it looks. It really is. But hopefully you will come out with something that you find interesting. Here's another small area that I'm not going to try to put a pattern in. All right. And plus it's part of the hand, and that was going to be solid. So you can see what I've got so far. And I'm going to give you the chance to finish it. And I look forward to seeing what you've done. I don't want all of yours to be exactly like mine. And you don't have to have done the patterns I did. So I look forward to seeing what you've done. And I will, this will build upon what we've done. We'll build upon this for our next lesson. And I hope that you enjoyed it. Bye.